Yesterday we discussed about what is RDD, in how many ways we can create that RDD, right? So there are three ways to create that RDDs with the help of the parallel function. I mean, from their collection, it could be list, it could be tuple, right? It could be range, right? In case we want to create any RDD from the collection, we should use the parallel function, right? The second method, if you want to read the data from any external data set file, right? We'll use that AC data text file, right? AC.txt file. I mean, you can read one file, you can read multiple files with the help of the wildcard character, right? With the help of the wildcard character, you can read, I mean, a number of files. I mean, you can explicitly mention the file names, right? Out of five, right? For example, if you're taking the wildcard character, there are five files are available. emp underscore starter CSV. Now I don't want to perform five files, right? I want to perform only three files. Then within the double quotes, you should mention the three file names explicitly. Hopefully, your created RDDs, right? Yeah, we'll talk about the rest of the concepts. So this is your pair RDD. In case if you want to create the pair RDD, like your dictionary, the combination, right? Keys and values combination, right? That is called pair RDD. In case if your RDD is having the combination of keys and values, right? Keys and values, that is called your pair RDD. See in this example, A and B, A comma 2, B comma 3, A9, B7, C10, right? Here that A is your key, B is your key, right? If you want to go with the combination, your collection, right? Your collection inside the list, you're creating the two tuples, right? In that A contains A to B3, right? These are two elements, right? Inside the two elements, the first one is tuple, the second one also tuple, right? In the B also you have created the three elements. The first element is a tuple, second element is tuple, third element also tuple, right? Correct. If you're creating the key value pair combination, right? Key value pair combination, that is called pair RDD. That is called pair RDD. Right? If you create the pair RDD, if you want to join the data from multiple RDDs, right? We can go with the join condition. Like for example, A dot SC dot. So now this is my collection. From the collection, I have that one tuple. I have one tuple. The tuple values are B20. Correct. In case we want to see the data, right? If you want to see the data, we have to use the collect function. That we have to use the collect function. In case your data is available in tuple, right? Inside the list, if the data is available in the tuple format, so this is called your pair RDD. This is called your pair RDD. From the pair RDD also, you can do the joins. But let's see. let me create the new RDD. C equal to a dot join C dot let a dot join of B, let a dot join of B. Alright, now that output is a of 10 comma 20, a of 10 comma 100, a of 10 comma 100. If you want, you can mention B also. Let B 20 comma 100, A 10 comma 20, because the same it will do the multiple time joins, right. A equal to a 10 comma 20, again A equal to C not matching, A equal to B not matching. If A equal to A again matching, it will create one more RDD. B equal to A, it's matching, right. B equal to A, it's not matching. B equal to C, it's not matching. B equal to B, it's matching. 20 comma 100. That in case if you have the multiple RDDs, right, if you want to combine the data, we'll use the especially the join condition. Join also, so one type of transformation with the help of the joins. Here the third method, right? So this is the first method to create that RDD with the help of the parallel function. So this is third or C also one type of RDD, right? One type of RDD. If you want to create a RDD, right, based on from another RDD with the help of the transformation. So the third methodology, we can create RDD from another RDD with the help of the transformation. So this is your action, right? C dot collect. Here RDD it will not create, right? It will collect that output, right? It will collect that output to your driver program, or you can save that output into your target system also, right? Your target system depends on your requirement, right? Depends on your requirement. If you are not writing the data to any data lake system or database, right? Maybe you want to return the data to driver program, you can use the collect function, right? You can use that collect function, but we should not execute collect function on your business data, right? Always we should mention your target location, right? It could be ADLS, it could be Azure SQL DB or DW or Amazon S3, right? So, or your Databricks file system, right? Your Databricks file system. Right. So mostly people will not write the data to your Databricks file system. Only you can create the log files. You can create the log files, or you can create the temporary files. If you want to do some calculations, you need one temporary files, right? The temporary files you want to, I mean, make the temporary files availability into your Databricks file system. The post completion of your calculation you want to delete, right? Then you can make the data into the Databricks file system. This is also kind of your internal storage, right? It is a kind of your right. Otherwise, your 99.9% or business data will send to our that main a data lake system or your blob storage or your Azure SQL DB or DW. Right? Don't collect any output. Don't execute any. I mean, don't collect any output into your driver program. Don't collect any output into your driver program. Okay, so this is called your pair RDD. So the pair RDD means the simple, I mean the simple definition, right? It's a combination of your key value, right? This is your key, this is your value, right? This is your key, this is your value, right? Data, right, in the key value pair, right? I mean you're creating the RDD. If the data is available in the key value pair, that is called pair RDD. That is called pair RDD type of. Alright. So this is called your pair RDD, the pipeline RDD. For example, let me create one sample data. Let me create one sample data. We'll do one requirement. Okay, for example, Azure Databricks, Azure Data factory, AWS, AWS, Google, GCP. For example, this is my unstructured data. This is my unstructured data. Okay, let me save this data. Let me save this data. Unstructured data dot text file. Okay, so this is my data. So what is my requirement? My requirement, I want to count how many Azure keywords are available in this unstructured file. All right. So this is kind of your searching, right? This is kind of your searching. I want to count how many Azure word is available inside this unstructured file. All right. We'll create one RDD. Right. We'll create one RDD underscore input. Right. AC dot text file. Right. AC dot text file. So this is my input path. All right. This is my input path. The step one, right? If it is a kind of list, we can create, right? But the data is available inside the text file, right? If the data is available inside the any list, right, we can come up with some Python programming language, right? Python programming language. But the data is not available in the list, right? The data is not available in the list. Your responsibility, you should make the data into the list. Then only we can easily count that Azure word, right? Right. So this 100% interview question. Okay. Now I have created one unstructured file. That unstructured file contains some X amount of data. From that X amount of data, I want to figure out how many times that Azure word is available, right? How many times that Azure word is available. Let me go and execute. All right. Now the data is available in RDD underscore input, right? RDD underscore input, right? Let me execute RDD underscore input with the help of the collect function. With the help of the collect function, right? With the help of the collect function, right? Now you have that a number of lines, right? There are, I think, 6 lines, right? 6 lines. From these 6 lines, I want to count how many times here Azure word is available. Maybe number of lines or number of words. So we'll talk about first number of words. Right? From this output, how can I count the Azure word with the help of the Python programming language? Right? We'll take this output, right? We'll take this output into one list, right? We'll take this output into one list. Now your data is available in that list. Now L equivalent to list, right? Your L equivalent to your list, right? L equivalent to your list, right? From this list, right? From this list, if I want to iterate, right? If I want to iterate, right? If I want to iterate, then I will use print of li rate.
In, sir.
Right. Now here L contains, I mean Li contains number of lines, right? L contains number of lines. If my Li, right? If Azure, right? If Azure in Li rate, right? If your each and every line contains Azure keyword, right? Azure keyword, that is your number of lines, right? Right? How many times? The two times this is available, right? But what is your requirement? You want to count how many number of lines. The second requirement will talk about word, but the first requirement is my input file, that Azure word is available in how many lines, right? How many lines? Now this is two lines, but now I'm not displaying that Azure word is available in entire unstructured data in unstructured file, two lines, right? If I want to capture the count, if I want to capture the count, how can I capture, right? Then we'll create one empty list, right? Then we'll create a empty list at Azure underscore L equal to empty one. Azure underscore L equal to empty one. But next, what you will do, Azure underscore L dot append function. Li. Right. Now here, this Azure underscore L contains, right, n number of lines. That n number of lines contains Azure word. Overall your input contains six lines, right? Your input contains six lines, but your Azure underscore L contains only the two lines, because you are performing the conditional statement. So this conditional statement, it will filter out only that Azure line, right? Only this Azure line. Print count the number of lines. Right, which function will use? Length function, right? The length of Azure, right? How many lines? Two lines, right? Count the number of lines from Azure word from input file to, right? Here that important interviewer, he will ask, but first how you will read the data, right? How you will read the data, right? Here that RDD will help out to read the data, right? Here RDD will help out to read the data. Here RDD will help out to read the data. Next, but how can I count that Azure word? Right? Let me take the data, right? Let me take the data into the list. But how can I take the data into the list? Right? With the help of the RDD action. With the help of that RDD action. The step one here, creating that RDD with the help of the text file. From this text file here, collecting that output into list with the help of the collect function. With the help of the collect function. Now the data is available. Now the data is available in end list. Right, the data is available in the list. Once the data is available in the list, happily we can execute your calculations with the help of the your Python programming language. With the help of the your Python programming language. So let me give AWS. Right, let me give AWS. Right, the, count the number of lines for your AWS word one. But AWS word is one. Otherwise we can use pattern equal to E rate. We have to count the number of lines for AWS. AWD 08. AWS. We have to count the number of lines for AWS word from input file 1. Alright, SAP. Count the number of lines for SAP word from input file 3. But you can take Azure. But you can make it Azure small letters. That is 0 because the data is case sensitive, right? So data is case sensitive. Clear, right? Any doubts?
No, no.
Okay.
It's fine.
So this is especially to count the number of lines, right? To count the number of lines. To count the number of lines. Maybe they may ask you count the number of words. Right? Count the number of words. Right? Count the number of words. But at that time, you should ask, do we have any specific delimiter, right? We should ask, do we have that any specific delimiter? For example, let me put some heading, show title. Right, the same program will take to count the number of words. Right, word count. Right, now your Azure underscore L contains, right now your Azure underscore L contains the number of lines, right? The number of lines. Alright, your Azure underscore L contains the number of lines. From that number of lines, again we can split the data into the words, right? With the help of the your split function, right? With the help of your split function. For example, the same p underscore Azure. Now it contains the number of lines of your Azure, right? Number of lines of your Azure underscore L. Azure underscore L. From this Azure underscore L, again we can split the data, right? Again we can split the data. How can we split the data from the number of lines? Again, the same for loop we can use, right? The same for loop we can use W in Azure underscore L, right? But for W in Azure underscore L. Now it will display the data, right? It will display the data with the help of the your split function, right? With the help of your split function. With the help of your split function. Now it will display each and every word, right? Now it will display each and every word. Let me make some comment. Right? Azure Databricks, Azure Data Factory, AWS, something, right? So next, what we'll do? We'll split the data, right? We'll split the data. Split of your comma separator. Split of your comma separator. Now it's creating each and every list. Right? Now it is creating each and every list. Now it is creating each and every list. But now it is creating each and every list. W dot splitter, the two list, right? Two list. From this list, we can use the count function, right? Right. From this list, we can do the count function. Right. For example, output underscore w equal to output underscore w equal to op underscore w dot count function of your Azure word, right? Of your Azure word. Of your Azure word. Now your count function, it will return how many Azure word is available from this first list. Now that value is available op underscore w, op underscore w. Then we can use this function, right? Azure underscore w equal to Azure underscore w equal to Azure underscore w dot append op underscore w op underscore w. Count the number of words, right? Count the number of words for Azure word from input file, right? Here we can use the sum function Azure underscore w. Let me execute. What happened? Int list. Sorry. Here we should create right op underscore w dot count. And equal to right overall that Azure what is available in your input file 3 times. Right. How many times we'll check? Control C. Right, 1, 2, 3 times, right? 1, 2, right, 1 and 2. This Teradata Azure, right? This Teradata Azure, but we are counting only that Azure element, right? This Teradata dot Azure 2 times, this is 3 times. Clear, right? So these kind of programs, right, they will ask you, especially in the interview, because they want to evaluate your Python programming language. So plus they want to evaluate your, especially the Spark, how you will read the data, right, how you will how you take that output from the RDD, right? So, so they will expect these two things, and they will expect your Python programming language, whether you know list, how to iterate your list, how to add that elements to the list. Right? So these kind of programs are very, very common, especially in the real time. Any doubts? Maybe we can simplify this program also, but I have written very lengthy. All right. Just understand in detail steps. Right. This first for loop, it will count the number of lines, because this is that unstructured data, right? This is unstructured data, right? The next one, right? It will count the number of words, right? It will count that words, right? Take the lines, Azure word, from list. Right here, previous program. Just we are extracting, right? All the lines contains Azure word, right? From this output, right, from this output, we are collecting Azure word because it is a string, right? Because it is a string. Because it is a string. That's why we're using the split function, right? The split function, if a string contains any delimiter, right? So automatically that output becomes a list only, right? Now the data is available in the list, word wise, right? All the word wise is available. Now happily we can use the, especially the list function, right? Happily we can use the list function, right? It will count from this list, right? From this list that Azure word. Then I'm adding because my Azure underscore L contains two lists, right? Again, if I'm using the split function, right? Again, if I'm using the split function, it will create the two lines, right? Again, two elements, right? Two elements from each and every element. Again, I want to count the especially Azure word. That is our requirement, right? Why we are using this logic? Because here the problem, my each and every row contains the word more than once or once or maybe zero times, right? If it is more than once, then only problem, right? If you are 100% sure, my each and every line contains only one word, right? Only one Azure word, right? Then no need to use this logic, right? No need to use this logic. Your number of lines means you're 100% sure each and every line contain only once or zero times that Azure word is available, not more than once, right? Then no need to use this logic. The number of lines indirectly equivalent to the number of words only, right? Right. Clear, right? Any doubts? Jagdish sir, Suresh, any doubts? Uday?
The count should be 4, right, Suman?
No, right. The last one is the Teradata Azure, right?
Okay.
In between dot operator is there.
The
That is
right
why
in
it's
between
not
dot
like-
operator is the right. Let's just observe the output. Right. Teradata dot Azure, right? See here, Azure dot Teradata, two dots. Here, Azure comma Azure, right?
Okay.
Right. Now this separate word, right? Azure data, Teradata Azure, right? Again, if you want, you can convert into one more dot, right? Then again it will split.
So the first scenario, what we wrote right, sir, it is like searching for the count of
Lines,
Azure word
lines,
in first line. Correct, sir?
number of lines, not first line, right?
Number of lines means then also it should show three, right, sir?
No, right? Two only, right? How
First
many?
line we have two Azure words.
No, this is I'm talking about your input content six lines. From the six lines, your Azure word is available only two times, right?
Okay, so in a line, if it is available multiple times, it will
No, that is
ignore it.
still only one only, right? Right.
Okay,
Count
so
the
it
number of
will only consider it as one, sir.
correct. That entire line consider that is right. Here, if you observe, now your each and every line you're appending the data to your list, right?
Yes, sir.
So this number of lines, if that Azure word is available 100 times or 300 times in your each line, that is only considered as a one, right?
Yes, sir.
The second one count. The second one count. Just you can, I mean, especially from this program, you can recap your all the Python knowledge.
Yes, sir.
I think only Uday is very sharp in the Python, right, Uday? At least you remember, right? These functions, append function, split function, count function, right? Every day we'll write these kind of programs, especially in the Databricks. So this is a common list dot append is a common. Your 99.99% any complex requirements will use list only. If you want to implement any framework, right? If you want to perform any validations, right? If you want to do the any schema checks, source versus target checks, right? That 100% will use the list. So these kind of programs are every day will implement 90% all requirement, right? Only with the help of these logics. Like list you will create, empty list you will create, for loop, if condition, the split function, count function. These formats are common. Every day will use. The rest of things, majority you will use the Spark SQL. Majority use the Spark SQL plus the Python programming language. If you want to perform that validation route, validations on your structured level, right, some data level, right, we'll use only these things. Right. Next we will discuss one more program. Now we'll talk about the structured one. We'll talk about the structured one. All right. We'll talk about the structured one. Let me create one file. ID comma name comma salary, some country name. 101. Right. 101. A500 India. Okay. So this is my input file. We'll take first one file. Then we'll take multiple files. Input underscore RDD, right? Input underscore RDD, right? Input underscore RDD. So what is the next year requirement? Right? What is your requirement? My requirement, right? I want to extract only information or maybe that US information, right? Right. The same programming language we can use, right? The same programming language we can use. But why should I especially dependent on the Python, right? Yes, I should dependent on the Python, right? But can't we use that RDT functions? Can't we use that RDT functions, especially to count? Forget about count, to filter out. So to filter out, how can I do these things? Right, right. Let me use the same programming language. Let me use the same programming language. Right. RDD underscore input underscore data. Right. So what is your requirement? In your requirement, you want to check, right? You want to check whether Azure Word is available or not, right? Azure Word is available or not. So can't we take any filter function? can't we take any filter RDD input underscore data dot right? So we have some filter function, right? We have some filter function. So can't we use that filter? The filter equivalent to your if condition only, right? The filter is equal to your if condition, especially in all transformations, right? We have to use the some function that is your lambda function, anonymous function, right? We'll take a, we'll take a, right? What is your requirement next, right? If Azure, right? Azure in A, yet here Azure in A. Yet what is this is RD underscore filter equal to RDD underscore filter equal to right now RDD underscore filter dot count, right? We can use filter also, right? So why should I write too much complexity program from that Python, right? Happily we can use the list function also, right? We can use the list function also, right? So this program we are using, right? This that above program we are using in that Python language, right? In the Python, all right? That above program we are using the especially I mean Spark with the Python programming language, right? Your entire calculations we're using especially the Python programming language. Python because you're returning the data into the list. On top of it, you're executing your Python program, right? Your Python functionality, right? To iterate each and every row. On top of it, then you're performing the your condition statement, whether your each and every line contains Azure word or not. If it is available, then again you're collecting that output into the list. On top of it, you're doing the some counting function with the length function, right? The length function. But what is that easiest way, right? Easiest way. Here, Spark also very intelligent tool, right? Your Spark is having a number of transformations. A number of transformations. So can't we use the one transformations? So what is the requirement? Your requirement to count, right? To count the number of lines of your Azure word, right? Count the number of lines for your Azure word. Right? From this happily we can extract, right? Right? From this output happily we can do that extract. But happily we can do that extract, right? So which one is easy, above one or below one?
Below one is easy, but lambda function is specific to uh, Spark. Huh?
Correct. This is not this a function. This is a kind of anonymous function. You can use any function here, not only the lambda. You can use any user different functions you can call out. Because here, why should I create one more function? Because this is kind of here iterator, right? The kind of looping, right? For example, see from RDD underscore input data, the first line it will go and copy into that A. Okay, this A from this A you're searching that Azure. Now that output it will capture into that RDD underscore filter. Next to the second row will come. I mean that user different functions will execute the same thing, right? Right? Because your RDD underscore input contains 5 lines. Your Azure word should search in from the 5 lines, right? Here we are not using the looping, right? Right? Because this lambda is a kind of your function. Each and every row it will execute this logic. So this is your lambda is a function, right? From this function, you're taking that your input. You're taking that input to your first row, it will copy into that A. From that A, you're searching Azure word. If it is available, it will copy that output into RDD underscore filter. The second row, it's not matching. Then it will not copy. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, right? Out of 6 lines, 2 lines will copy it into your RDD underscore filter. So this is syntax. Here you can use any function, any user defined function here you can use. Here, why should I write one more user defined function? Let me use the lambda. But the lambda nothing but it's a kind of function, anonymous function.
Okay.
So this is very easy, right?
Obviously.
But above program, or at least above, but he will ask in the two ways, right? But he should give the first method this RDD, right? The second method he may ask the question, no, I don't want to use that RDD. What is that alternative, right? Then you can give them the two ways. So at least a kind of impression, right? Because here you can showcase your Python programming knowledge, right? Here you can showcase both, right? Yeah, you know how to create that RDD, how to collect that output, right? Here the second step, the critical step, the Python programming language. Here everything is the RDD functions only, RDD transformations, right? Clear, right?
Clear.
Any doubts? Right? Either you can use Python programming language or you can use your filter also. Right? Like in SQL, it is equivalent to your where condition, right? The step one, select start from your table. Step two, where condition. Step three, in your count. Select count of star from this table where your column name like Azure, right? Column name like percentage Azure, percentage, right? Percentage Azure, percentage. The same equivalent in the SQL will do the same thing, right? Select count of table where your column name like sorry, like percentage Azure. Sorry. Right. But in the Spark, all right, in the Spark we'll use like this. Right. I mean, this is not table, right? If it is a table, happily I can use the Spark SQL. Happily I can use the Spark SQL because this is not a structured data, right? This is not a structured data. This is unstructured data, right? Unstructured data, right? The data is available in your file. If the data is available in the table, happily I can use the same logic, the same Spark SQL, right? The same copy paste I will execute in the my Databricks, right? Only the table name will change, the column name will change. It will give that exact count. All right. In which column? This is a description columns like here Azure word, right? Description column like here Azure. Right? It will count the number of words. But here the data is available in file system. But now you are using the filter condition, right? You are using the filter transformations. You are using filter transformation. From this filter, all right, you are extracting your Azure word. The same Python programming language only, but we are using the with the help of the RDD transformations. Azure in A means here if condition, right? Here if conditions. Now that Azure underscore L dot append this equivalent to your RDD underscore filter. The same instead of length here we are using a count function. All right. Why should I use the collect function instead of a collect function? I'm using the one more RDD. From this RDD, I'm applying my transformations. Right. With the help of the three lines, we can finish our requirement here. With Python, again, we should write for loop and if condition, right? List functions, right? We should use the list functions. Right. Yeah, we will take the same example here. See that. Text small text. What is the input path?
లేదు మన
Sorry. Any doubts? No, right? This is our input RDD. Already we are creator, right? emp underscore input file underscore 1.txt. Yes, sir, already we are created. Right, input underscore RDD data collect function. Data collect function. ID name, salary, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106. Right. So this is your input, right? This is your input. What is your requirement? My requirement, right? My requirement, I want to extract only that USA information. I want to extract only that USA information data. The same filter logic we can use, right? The same filter logic we can use. What is the filter logic here? Input underscore RDD, right? Dot filter, right? Here you should use the different function, right? Any function. That's why I'm using the lambda. Lambda is a one type of anonymous function, right? What is your requirement? Country name, right? Country name colon, right? India, in C. RDD underscore India. Let me use some country. Let me use one country. RDD underscore country equal to input underscore RDD dot filter. Right. Next, we can use the same word. Right now, it's extracted the three countries information. It's extracted the three countries information. But what about your header? Your header is not available, right? Where is your header? Your header also acted as the data, right? Your header also acted as the data. What is the next requirement? Let my next requirement. I want to combine my header also, right? I want to combine my header information also. I want to combine my header information. But how can I extract my header? If I want to extract only header from this file, what is the function? First function we can take care of it. Right? We can take the first function, right? Right? We can take the first function id comma name comma salary comma cname. Right? Id comma name comma salary comma cname. Right? So this is your data, right? This is also your input underscore RDD dot first, right? Input underscore RDD dot first. But you want to available, right? You want to take this data, all right, into this list, right? You want to take this data into this list, all right? So what is the easiest way? I can create one more header, right? Header underscore list, header underscore list, right? This is I can take the data list, right? Data list. This header underscore list data. Which function we can use? Extend we can use, right? All right. will manipulate this data. ID comma name comma salary comma CNAME rate. Name is not defined. What is the name? Head underscore list, data list. ID comma name comma sal comma CNAME. Wheel is not what wheel. So the data should be that single quote. Why it's not considering? ID name, salary, C name. Now, your data is having the proper header and the data information, right? So these kind of, questions you will expect in interview. Maybe real time, yes, we will not do these things, but interviewer he will ask the questions. I have that multiple input files, multiple input files. I want to extract only India information. I want to extract only that India information. But he will definitely he will ask, yes, I'm expecting header information also. I'm expecting my header information also in your target system. In your target system, right? We'll write this kind of programs. All the code. Let me remove these things. Right. We'll write so these kind of programs. Right. For example, let me create multiple input files. Multiple input files. From the multiple input files, you're expecting some India information. Right? You're expecting India information. Right? The same logic, right? The same logic we can include, right? The same logic we can include. Where is the second file? Let me upload the simple control. Start.txt, right? Start.txt. That ID name, salary, C name, 108, 109, 101, 103, 105. Right. The previous output 3 rows, now the current output 5 records because we are reading the data from multiple files. We are reading the data from multiple files. Clear, right? So what is the next requirement, right? Why should I again use that evaluate function, right? Again evaluate the list function. What is that alternative, right? What is the requirement? I want to capture that India. Plus, I'm expecting some header information, right? I'm expecting some header information, right? This is my data, right? Country data, right? This is my country data. This is my country data. Right? In case if you want to extract only the header information, only the header information, because the header is available in multiple rows, right? The header is available in the multiple rows, right? Let me put ID, right? Let me put ID, comma, name, comma sal comma cname, right? Int c, right? id comma name comma salary comma cname int c, right? If it is equivalent, right? If it is, let me display only header information. Let me use only the header information, because that first function, the first function is not taking the list, it's taking that only the list, right? Not RDD, right? Because you can create that RDD from the transformation, not from the action, right? Right? Not from the action. Now this RDD underscore header, right, contains is two informations, right? Two information, but I want to make out to only that one, right? I want to create into that only one, that I want to create into that only that one function, right? Do we have any function to eliminate duplicate content from your RDD, right? From your RDD, right? We have the some distinct function. We have the distinct function. With the help of the distinct function, we can eliminate the duplicates. We can eliminate the duplicates. Unique header, because the data is available from multiple files, right? The data is available from multiple files. The data is available from the multiple files. So the filter function, the filter transformation is used to filter out your data from your RDD. You can create another RDD, right? Because filter is a transformation. Distinct also one type of transformation which is used to create one more RDD. One more RDD. Now your data is available, header is available, unique header, country data is available, only your India data. So what is your next requirement? Well, next requirement, I want to combine these two RDDs, right? I want to combine these two RDDs. But how can I combine? How can I combine these two RDDs? If you observe the data, right? If you observe the data, if you observe the data, the same, right? Can't we perform any set operations? Can't we perform any set operations between one RTT and another RTT? Between one RTT and another RTT. Okay, let me take one simple example. L underscore 1 equal to SC data parallelize, right? Let me take that parallelize function first. Parallelize. Let me take the data 1 comma take some range data, range 5 records, range from 5 to 10, L underscore list, right? Now these two lists are available. L underscore 1 dot, right? We have some union function, right? L underscore 1 dot union of L underscore 2, right? It's creating new RDD, right? N equal to NU equal to NU dot collect, right? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? Right. So union is a one type of RDD, right? It is a transformation. With the help of that union, we can combine the multiple RDDs. We can combine the multiple RDDs. We can combine the multiple RDDs. That is the usage of the air union. That is the usage of the air union. For example, let me take 1 comma 2. We'll try with the list also. Right, same rate 0 1 2 3 4 1 comma 2. That 0 1 2 3 1 comma 2. 0 1 2 3 1 comma 2. Because this is that output, it will combine, right? That output, it will combine again. It will give the some kind of list only, right? If you're collecting the data, each and every element is available, right? Each and every element is available. Right, the same example we can apply here, right? Right, the same example we can apply here. Now here header data union with your data file, right? We can use it union with your data file. But union with your data file, right? This is your final underscore RDD equal to dot collect. Now you're getting header, then data, right? Header and data you're expecting. Clear, right?
Sir, one small doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just to clarify, we have multiple files with us, correct, sir? With the
Correct.
same column and same kind of data formats, correct, sir?
Correct.
So here, when we are getting that files in the text file, we are importing every file into it in a single RDD.
Correct. Multiple files
And
in single
then,
RDD.
yes, sir, and then we are using this filter to segregate data based on specific value in a column.
Correct.
So how does the C is there now, sir? C colon India
Right.
in
Yeah.
EC we
I
say,
will
right,
explain.
sir?
I will explain.
Yeah.
So this is your anonymous function. This
Okay.
syntax, the highlighted one is the anonymous function. Means, right? First of all, this input under are already contain a number of lines, right? From each and every line, I want to apply the some kind of filter logic, right? Restriction, right?
Yes, sir.
That's why
Yes,
I'm
sir.
using the filter. Now what it will do, this filter, it will take the data, then it will submit it to the here lambda function. Lambda is an anonymous function. Inside the lambda, you have one variable, right? What it will do, this variable, it will take the first row into this variable C because of
Okay.
this lambda function. Now your
Okay,
C
sir.
contains first line, right?
Correct, sir.
After colon, your main
Value.
value, main your code, your filter logic.
Yes, sir.
Now your C contains first row, right?
Correct, sir.
India in your first row. If
Yes.
condition is true,
Yes.
then it will copy. If the condition is false, it will not copy to your RDD underscore data. Basically, it is returning, right? It is accepting the input. Again, it is returning that output to your RDD underscore country underscore data.
So lambda is an anonymous function. What it
Correct.
does is like it will validate that record, each record which gets stored in C, right, sir? Like
Correct.
input.rd's value will get stored in a record, I mean line in a C. That particular condition, whatever we are giving, it will evaluate, and if it is true, it will return that value to country data.
Correct.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, because
And
this
because the
unstructured,
two
this is
files is the
unstructured
same.
data, right? Just assume this is unstructured data. There is no specific delimiter that we are using, right?
Yes, sir.
If it
Correct.
is structured data, then we can use the delimiter because RDD, the disadvantage of RDD, it will not support for the structured data, right?
Right, sir.
Right. So this is because I don't care whether this is structured data or unstructured data. For me, so this is a file, right? For
Correct,
me,
sir.
this is a file. Right. Nowhere I'm using the comma separator or anything. For me, this is a file. What is our requirement? My requirement, inside the file, if the India information is available, I want to extract. But reality, this is your structured file only. But I don't care whether it is structured or unstructured, right? That India word I'm searching, right? India word I'm searching each and every line of that file.
Each and every row of that particular file.
Correct,
Correct, sir.
correct. Line or row, same, right?
Yeah. And now in the second condition, since we have two files with the same header, we will choose only one. We will try to see if the header is identical in two files. Correct, sir?
Correct.
And then we are taking the distinct header out of that, and then combining the country data to that.
Correct. You're right.
Okay,
Now
sir.
I will get the
Thank you.
proper output, right? I will get the proper output. This output I can write the data into my target system, right?
Correct, sir. This is like kind of a merge we are doing now, sir.
Correct, correct. Kind of merge. Let's set operators.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So by default, it's displaying duplicate with duplicates. Huh?
Duplicates, I did not get you.
I mean,
Which line you're talking about?
no. A union operator, union transformation. For example, if 101 is in both.
It will display, right? The same. Just now we had executed, right? The 1 and 2 is that's why I had given this example, right?
By default.
Not by default. I mean, in case if you have the data, it will display.
Okay. Okay.
It is equivalent to your union, all right. It is equivalent to your union.
Union
We want if we want to remove the duplicates, again on top of it, we should use the distinct.
So here we will only have one function, sir, known as union, which will equivalently work like union all. Correct, sir?
Correct. You're right. You're right.
But still, if we see some duplicate data into that file, we can eliminate by using distinct function.
Distinct. Correct.
Okay, sir.
Any doubts?
So please share this file, sir.
Yeah, sure. Yesterday file and today file also I will share. Just, I mean, compare this logic with Python, compare this logic with SQL. Right, okay. In SQL, how can we do these things? Right? Happily, we can do this. I mean, these things not required, right? Because multiple tables, right? Multiple tables, right? If you want to extract the data, select star from table 1, where country name equal to India, union all, select star from second table, where country name equal to India, right? Right, sir. Because the country information I want to filter out from each and every table, right? Each and every table. That's why we are using the to select statement with the help of that one union, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. For example, select star from table 1, where country name, sorry, country name equal to India. Multiple files means multiple tables, right?
Correct, sir.
Multiple files into multiple tables. Now I have extracted, filtered, because so this is the first RDD taking the data, second RDD filter, right? But why should I create two RDDs for two individual files, right? Let me take T star, right? T star, but because it's a file. Yes, now the data is available. What you will do? You will use the union or because I'm expecting I need duplicates also. I don't want to eliminate the duplicates. That's why I'm using the union. If you want to eliminate the duplicates, you can use that union function. But here, default the header will be available because these are predefined structures, right? These are the predefined structure. But how can I extract my columns information? Right? That's why I'm using this logic. Because I can take that filter. Sorry, I can take that head, I mean, first function, but first is not a transformation, right? It is an action, right? We can't create the RDD from that action, right? We can create the RDD from only the transformations, right? Correct. Any doubts? Jagdish, sir, any doubts?
No, sir.
It's clear, right?
Yes, sir. It is clear, sir. So
Others, any? Yeah.
union all in Oracle will eliminate the duplicate values. Correct, sir?
Union all, it will not, right? Union all,
So
union will,
union will eliminate all the duplicates in Oracle, but union all will have all the values in Oracle. But
correct,
here, if we use union operator, it will all have all the duplicate values also in the file.
correct,
But only specific thing what we have to do after that, we have to eliminate it with distinct function. Correct, sir?
correct, correct, correct. You're right.
Okay, sir.
Because I
Thank you.
think we don't have any union distinct. Only distinct is there. Only union.
Okay, sir.
We have that intersection also. Right. So what are the next operations? Right. Intersection means it will display the common data, right? Right. If we want to
Yes.
display the common data between the two tables, right? Between the two tables, right? Between the two tables, then we'll use that intersection operator. We'll use that intersection operator. We'll use that intersection operator. Right, means we should create the two files, right? Let me use here. Right, 1 comma 2, because here L underscore 1 contains the range 1 2 3 4 5, right? Sorry, 0 1 2 3 4, right? 0 1 2 3 4, right? 1 comma 2, it will display, right? Parallelize 1 comma 2. What are the common data? 1 2 is a common, right? 1 and 2 is a common, right? That intersection, it will display the common data points between these two RDDs, right? Between these two RDDs. For example, let me use that range function. Range 6, why it's empty list? Because there is no common data, right? There is no common data between L underscore 1 and L underscore 2. L underscore 1 and L underscore 2. Clear, right? That intersection is a, if you want to display the common data between these two RDDs, we'll use that intersection. Right, we have some subtract function also. Right, 0 1 2 3 4, which are not available in L underscore 2, right? Which are not available in L underscore 2. Right, let me use 6. So let me use 3. Right, 3 comma 4, right? 3 comma 4 not available in L underscore 2. In L. So these are your set operators. These are your set operators from your RDD. From your RDD. Any doubts?
No, sir. Sir, my system is getting restarted. I'll join back, sir.
Okay, sure. Others, any doubts? Divya, Uday. The same kind of operations again will use in data flow, but data flow much easier than your RDD. RDD 100% is a bit complexity because coming into the performance wise, there is no default catalyst optimizer and tungsten, right? Because it's very hard to especially perform the transformation of structured data, right? Because this is the structured data, right? Why should I perform these many operations, right? Because anyway this is structured data, not unstructured data, right? Because RDD, we don't care about whether it's structured or unstructured. For me it is a file, right? For me it is a file. I want to read the data. If you want to, you can perform transformation. You can come up with the proper calculation, proper logic to filter out your data, to eliminate duplicates, to keep only the header, right? That is developer's responsibility, right? Developer's responsibility. Because this is structured data, why should I perform these many operations? Because this is the RDD, right? This is the RDD. If it is the data flow, no need to apply these many things. Simply we can create only simple spark data, read dot format from that .txt file or .csv file based on your delimiter. So automatically your Spark will taken care about your header information and data information plus data types also. Data type also. So this is wrong, right? For example, this header contains 10 columns. Here it contains for example, each and every row contains 3 rows also, still it will do that merge, right? Still it will do that merge. Basically it is combining the data from this RDD, combining the data, right, to creating the new RDD, right, creating into the new RDD. But here the problem, if you want to apply any function, but if you want to apply the any calculations, you should come up with a number of transformations. You should come up with a number of transformations. I think we discussed the count function, distinct filter. Minute. You can take save as a text file. If you want to capture your output, right? If you want to capture your output, right? Now your data is available in multiple files. Output RDD data txt. Right? It is a folder. Inside the folder, it will create. So this is a default behavior. So this is a default behavior. Right. Let me remove the .txt. Output RDD. Now you're able to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 files you're able to see, right? 6 files you're able to see, right? Then go and check why it's created 6 files. Copy, paste, dot, get num partitions. Right? How many partitions?
6 partitions.
6 partitions. Right? Then it will create the 6 files into your target system. It will create the 6 files into your target system. Right? If you want, you can go and check each and every file the data. All right. Slash, what is the file name?
part and 000.
Control C, Control C. So dbutils dot fs dot head, right? Head command.
Just change 1, 2, 3, 4 like that.
Alright, which file contains data? Let me see the list, then we'll see the size first. Better. Display. Right. 2, 3, 4 is having some data, right? 2, 3 is having some data. Let me use 3. Right. Let me use 4.
4 is having more data.
Alright. Let me use 2 also. Right. ID comma name comma C. Right. 3, 4 is having your data, 2 is having your header. Right. 2 is having your data. So basically, it will create the backend 6 partitions, right? Backend it will create the 6 partitions. But how can I decrease my partitions, right? How can I decrease my partitions? Right. Data coalesce. The coalesce. 1. Right. We'll execute and we'll see. Right. 1. Let me display that output from FRDD collect function. Right. Now I'm able to see the data, right? Now I'm able to see the data from FRDD. Right. What is that? Our text file output. FRDD. Right. Output RDD. Single one. FRDD single, right? Table FRD single. Now how many files you're able to see? Only one file. So this underscore success, right? This underscore success is a default files. Actually, in the data flow, right, will default it will create the 4 files. One is part file. I mean, a number of part files, underscore success, underscore commit, underscore status. But in the RDD, it will create underscore. Then I mean, this file it not contains any data, just only 0 bytes file. But this is your data file. This is your data file. So why the previous example we were seeing 6 files, now we are able to see only 1 file? Because the part files, part means partitions, right? The part files will be created based on your number of partitions. If your input contains 10 partitions, right? Input contains 10 partitions. I mean, your data frame contains 10 partitions. 10 part files will be created. Your RDD contains 3 partitions. 3 part files will create. But if you want to decrease your partitions, then we'll use the coalesce function. The coalesce function is used to decrease the number of partitions. decrease the number of partitions. Clear, right? All right, this 100% interview all the question. Okay, you're writing the data into your target system, all right, from RDD, from that RDD. But I'm able to see the 10 files. But I don't want to create the 10 files. I want to create the only one file. But how you will do? All right. The step one, if you want to write the data into that file system from that RDD, we'll use save as a text file. We'll use save as a text file. With the help of the save as a text file, right, we'll write the data into the text file from RDD. From RDD. What is your next requirement? This RDD is important. This RDD contains how many partitions? If it contains 10 partitions, inside your output RDD single, right, it will create 10 files. Right? It will create 10 files. It will create 10 files. No, I don't want to create 10 files. I want to create only one file. Right? I want to create only one file. Then we'll use the coalesce function. Coalesce function is used to decrease the number of partitions. Decrease the number of partitions. We can increase the partitions with the help of the repartitions, but coalesce function is used to decrease the number of partitions on your RDD. On your RDD. But why I'm using that coalesce to one? Because in my output I don't want to see that multiple files. I want to create only a single file. I want to, so by default it will create the file name with part. The file name with part by default. There is no way to create your specific file name. Default, I'm talking about default, there is no way. Default, it will create with the part hyphen dot part hyphen value. Any doubts? Suresh?
No, Sumant. Yeah.
It's clear, right?
Yeah.
Uday? Uday, any doubts, Uday? Okay. For example, next question I will ask. Okay. But why should I maintain this underscore success? Right, Suresh? Because, for example, if you're providing this folder to your end users, definitely they'll get confused, right, Suresh?
Yeah.
We should not get underscore success because do you think this file will help out? This file contains 0 bytes. How it will help out? No, right? If it contains some any information, it may help out. But this file itself contains 0 KB, right? 0 bytes, right? The success is size 0,
Yes.
right? Do you
Yeah.
think it help out? No, right? Right. It will not help
Yeah.
out, right? It will not, but that is a by default, right? But you're not creating this underscore success, right? If you're writing the data into your folder from the save text file, so by default it is creating underscore success. But this file it will not help out. For example, if you're providing access this folder to your downstream systems, right? Definitely they'll get confused, right? Why I'm seeing that underscore success, but I don't want to see that underscore success. From your program side, you have to restrict, right? From your program side, you have to restrict. But how can I restrict? That is a default behavior. That is a default behavior. How can I restrict? Only the restrict means I can delete, right?
Yes,
Right?
I think
I can
after
delete.
writing it, we need to delete.
Correct, right? After writing, so then dbit is dot fs dot rm command I can use, right?
Yeah.
Right? Rm command I can use, right? dbutils dot fs dot rm. No, I'm not able to see, right?
Yes, it got deleted.
Right? Again, users may not happy, right? I am expecting some specific object name. I don't care about that part, right? Please provide the proper naming convention. But how can I provide the proper naming convention? Then we can use the move command, right? Right? We can,
Okay. Different naming.
all right, we can move the command with the help of the rename. This imply file, right? Right. Now the data is available in the proper text format. DB tells data, fs data, set command. Let ID name salary. Right. Now if I'm providing this access to users, they will not see any date discrepancy, right? I mean unwanted files, right? The proper naming convention, right? But these are some kind of additional steps, right, Suresh? I mean,
Yes.
definitely it will give the performance issues because you're decreasing your number of partitions to one. We should not, but depends on the requirement. I mean, if you have the users, right, maybe depends on your project design also. They want to restrict to only one file. So maybe the downstream systems, right, they're reading the data from some XYZ tool, just as maybe XYZ tool. All right, that XYZ tool, they don't want to go with multiple part files. All right, they want to create only the single file. But they want to create only. So it depends on their tools, right? If their tools are having some limitations, they're expecting the proper naming conventions, right? Then
But
will decrease.
don't we face any problems while merging these files into single partition?
No, no, will not. I mean, definitely you may encounter performance issue. Definitely will encounter the performance issue, right? It's a
But
huge
not in
amount of.
terms of memory?
No, no, not into that memory. Not into that
Okay.
memory. The same, right? Because 100 KB file, 100, I mean, GB data, right? You're splitting into that for 100 KB data, you're creating into that one file. The size same only, right?
No,
But
because the moment we merge the different files into single file, obviously, I mean, it will, let's say, when it comes to single RDD, I mean, the partitions are reduced means obviously it's combining into single worker node, right? Sumant.
correct. But there is no issue, right? Because that is the final, right?
Okay.
That is the
Okay, that
final.
means after doing all the filtration, that's all.
Correct, correct. That is the final one, right? But actually,
Okay.
ideally, we should not use Colesco function. Actually, always we should hate. But depends on your requirement. For example, your users are raising a concern. No, at any cost, I need only one file. That is
Okay.
his concern, right? We can't do anything, right? But yes, we should highlight to that, especially business. We may encounter the performance issues. But I mean, writing also, right? Writing also. For example, your process may complete if you're not converting the Colesk of one huge amount of data. I'm talking about huge amount of data. For example, it it may take for 5 minutes, just as in 5 minutes. But if you're downgrading to one partition, right, it may take more time, right? Maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour also, right? Depends on your data value. If they're
Okay.
okay, right? If they're okay to wait, especially more than 15, 20 minutes, they're okay to, I mean, bear, especially that year SLA time, then we can downgrade. But we should highlight. But many organizations, especially the final layer, right, they will convert the data into that only single file. So which is in your control, right? Which is in your control. From that control, right? Nobody consuming the data, right? There, no need to downgrade. But which your final output consumed by multiple users, right? There definitely 99.99% they will expect only the single file. Basically, your architect, your downstream systems will raise a concern. No, I need only one file. Then at that time, we should use the coalesce function. This 100% interview. Anyway, we'll discuss in detail the same example in the data frame code wise. I mean, now I have execute individual, right? Now in the data frame, we'll talk about in the code wise. We'll come up with some dynamic code. The code will taken care to read the data, to process the data, to write the data. On top of it, how it will delete that unwanted files. Now everywhere I'm doing that hard code, right, Suresh? This is wrong, right? Right?
Yes,
We
I
should not.
mean,
We
yeah.
should not, right? Actually, we should not, right? We should not provide that hard code. If you're providing that hard code, right? If you have the 100 files, 100 notebooks, I have to use, right? Or 100 commands I have to use, right? Right? That is
And
wrong,
we
right?
are not sure, and that we are not sure. in real time. I mean, how many partitions it will divide, we are also not sure.
I mean, I did not get you.
And even to write a hard code, we don't know how many partitions it will be segregated, right? Initially, after loading the files.
No, that is, I mean, by default, if you use the coalescent, I don't care whether it's 100 or a 201. If I'm forcefully using the coalescent, by default, it will create only one. I'm talking about these things. Right? We
Okay,
should
the
not do the hard
final
code.
conversions. Okay.
Right? This is, we should not do the hard code, right?
Yeah.
We should not do the hard code because here we are not sure what is the part file name also, right?
Yes.
Right? Because for example, this is the default name, right? Because right, how can I check this? Only this file will create, maybe with a different ID. We are not sure, right? Again, this is a wrong, right? We should not, especially hard code the data. But we should not hard code the data. But we should use that move function. We should use the move function. But how to get this file name? This is the hard code. This is anyway because your object name, right? This is that object name. Maybe we may take from your input parameters. This from the input we can get it. But this is hard code. Again, hard code. This is wrong, right? But in the data frame, we'll talk about in detail to read the data, to perform the transformation, to write the data, on top of how to eliminate the unwanted files. In RDD, only one file. Two files only it will create underscore success part files. But in data frame, it will create four files. Part files underscore success underscore status underscore committed. At that time, we should delete the three files. Here anyway, this is by default underscore success. I can use. All right, I can by default I can use underscore success, but in case if it is creating other files, then the problem, right? But the data frame, four files will be underscore success underscore status underscore committed file. But those files it will not help out for your requirement. It's underscore those three files also it may not help out because these are the zero bytes file. But again here we are doing the hard code. We should not do the hard code. Then we'll come up with the proper dynamic code to eliminate the unwanted files, how to rename the files. All right, we'll discuss. But this is clear, right? High level. Why I'm using this logic? Why I'm deleting these files? Right? Why I'm decreasing to one file, right? Because they want to rename. For example, if I'm not decreasing to one partition, if it contains 5 part files, but how can I convert into the single file? Right, Suresh? For example, in this example, how many files? 6 files, right? There are 6 files are available, right? There are 6 files are available. But how can I convert these 6 files into one file? Move command, it will not help out. Right? Move command, what it will do? It will move the folder or it will move the file. But your 6 files, it will not convert into that single file move command, right?
Yes.
Right, sir. That is wrong, right? The move command, it will not help out. That's why you're decreasing to one partition. So now you're creating only one file. From one file, I can move to that one file, right? With my own naming convention.
Yes.
Right? But otherwise, then we should think about copy activity, right? We should think about copy activity in the ADF, right? We'll take the part hyphen star dot something. Here it is creating some unnecessary data, the comma data. For example, just as maybe the 6 files contain the proper data. So what is the best way? From the ADF also we can do, right? Post completion of your Databricks code. On top of it, I can use that my ADF copy activity from 6 files star part hyphen star data into the single file with help of the copy activity. It will do it with the help of the merge files, copy behavior.
Yeah.
That in case, for example, in your requirement, no, I don't want to decrease to n number of multiple partitions into single partitions, then think about alternative solution. This is a 100% interview question. Interview, they will ask the question, okay, you're writing the data, forget about RDD, just I'm talking about in the generic statement, maybe that it could be data frame also, right? Yes, I'm writing the data into my target system. The Spark behavior, it will create the multiple files because it is a distributed system, right? It will create the multiple files, right? But I don't need multiple files into my target locations. But how you will convert into single file? Then what is your answer next to coalesce function? You apply the coalesce function, right? You convert it into that single file, but you haven't observed your performance issues, right? You haven't observed your performance issues, but your executed coalesce code, it is huge amount of data, right? It will do the shuffling, right? XYZ operations it will perform. I mean, less shuffling only in the fullest less shuffling only. But again, it is additional activity. Again, additional activity, right? The process usually, I mean, it took 5 to 10 minutes to completion, right? Whenever you have created a number of part files. Now your downgrade number of files into that single file, that your process took more than 1 hour. It's a major impact on your SLA, right? It's a major impact on your SLA. But how you will handle the situation? Right? You should convert into the single file. It should not impact on your performance issues. That alternative solution, I mean, I'm not talking the Databricks point of view, that alternative solution other tool ADF. Right? From that ADF, yes, I can take all the part files into single file with the help of the copy activity, with the help of the merge files. Right? The copy behavior, it is a merge. Then we can take that all the files, we can convert into the single. On top of it, I can remove the delete activity part hyphen, right? Right, Suresh? With the help of the copy activity plus delete activity, right? Copy activity plus delete activity, because copy activity, it will take that all the part files into that single file with your own naming convention. On top of it, you should delete your all the part files. Otherwise, duplicates, right? You will see the 6 part files, one emp.csv. That is wrong, right? Post completion of your merging into the single files, then you should eliminate, because the target location is the same, right? Your source location, target location, both are same. So this is also interview question. I mean, I don't want to do merging. I don't want to convert into the single file from the Databricks. So what is that alternative? In case if they mention they don't want to these operations from the Databricks, that alternative is ADF. Clear, right, Suresh? Any doubts?
Yeah, these concepts are clear, so yeah.
Right. This is 100% interview question. At 100% will implement this scenario in the real time. Maybe few people they may go with coalesce function, right? If they encounter performance issues, there is a number of alternative ways are there, right? One of the best way is ADF, also one of the best way, right? If you don't want to decrease the partitions, right? One of the best ways is ADF. We have that alternative ways also from the Databricks. Also we have that alternative ways, but easiest way at this stage for you, easiest way is the ADF. Others, any doubts? I will share this PPT. Okay. I mean, the rest of the functions are same. I mean, we discuss almost majority already. We discussed the operations and RDDs, right? There are actions and transformations, right? Right. So this RDDs, right? You can create the RDDs. You can perform the transformation. Again, you can create that RDD. Again, you can perform the transformation. Again, you can create the RDD, transformation RDD. Final, you can execute your action. It will display the result. Why this action is not linking with RDD? From action, we can't create that RDD, right? We can't create that. Basically, there are two types of operations, right? Transformations and actions. So transformations are always lazy evaluations. From the transformations, we can create another RDD. Right, your action, it will collect that output into your driver program. Into your driver program. Or do we discuss it? So this is in detailed, right? These are the different types of transformations are available. Right. Here I had given in detailed examples. Just you can try. Okay, any doubts?
Can you send yesterday's files?
Yeah, sure. I will share both. Yeah. If you don't have any doubts, we'll connect tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start a Databricks. I mean, 10-15 minutes we'll discuss about RDD. Okay, that high level. We'll start from tomorrow onwards, data frame. Just go through that PPT, and I had given an in detailed example. Just copy paste on that example. Yeah, if you don't have any doubts, we'll connect tomorrow. In maybe in the tomorrow in the first half, we'll discuss. I mean, in the first 10-15 minutes, we'll discuss about the RDD limitations. That what is the narrow transformation, what is the wide transformation. Then we'll start the data frame. Okay. Thanks everyone. If you don't have any doubts, we'll close it.
Thank you, sir.